Greetings, everyone. I am the Hipster Snek. Or today, I suppose, I'm the Halloween Snek, as this review is debuting the week of Halloween. And what better encapsulate a fun Halloween tradition than a haunted house experience? I'll tell you what, a haunted house experience that doesn't have lines or people wanting to kick the snot out of you. Seriously, I don't understand extreme haunted houses, and I probably never will. But today, we'll be looking into a haunted house experience conveniently available on Steam for all operating systems, PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and even Android and iOS. This bit of N-D-X-Cellence, known as Bendy and the Ink Machine. Developed over the course of 2 years and 5 episodes with an ever-growing indie team headed by the Meatly and Mike Mood, the game takes place in a rundown animation studio as the main character, Henry, returns after 30 years having previously left the studio's employ at that time. He arrives and, over the course of the demo/first episode, realizes that the installation of the titular ink machine caused a very sudden downturn in the studio's illustrious history. And as an aside, the demo spans the entirety of episode 1, which was originally released as a free single episode with additional levels offered as DLC packs until they were bundled into the complete edition. Anyway, Henry finds audio logs left behind by former coworkers of the studio and finds the situation goes from strange to stranger still, with ink pentagrams, strange cardboard cutouts that I could have sworn I just broke that to pieces a moment ago, and even a full-on cartoon character satanic sacrifice. Whoa, gruesome and darkly hilarious. Nice touch. When he finally realizes he's in over his head, every effort Henry makes for an exit just results in him falling deeper and deeper into the dark, inky mysteries left for him by his enigmatic friend and CEO of the studio, one Mr. Joey Drew. Any comparison to a certain real-life company and figure is purely coincidental, so I'm told. The game looks great, taking the stark, stylized, blackened sepia to really get into that 1930s animation come-to-life mindframe. And the game's excellent use of shading makes it so you don't really miss other colors. A truly immersive experience as you explore the world of Joey Drew Studios. Despite that, everything stands out, using stark outlines and excellent level design to help you find what it is you're looking for. Even as the same shade of, sepia, you'll be able to spot items as needed, in part due to interactives highlighting in yellow whenever you hover your crosshair over them. But you won't just be treasure hunting in this story-rich haunted house from the early 20th century. You'll also wield a trusty axe and pipe to drive back the searchers, strange living puddles of ink who want to drag Henry down with them. That's just another thing I have to gush about. The creatures of this world are so interesting to look at. Trying so hard to keep the spoiler free, but in Chapter 3, you'll meet a plot pivotal character with an absolutely amazing design and facial animations unlike anything I've ever seen. It was simultaneously grotesque and beautiful all at once. I just love the atmosphere this dusty, dank, half-inked world forms. That's really just scratching the surface of the bizarre, surreal, and at times even humorous things that you'll encounter. And the sound design is equally amazing. Not only are several fan-made songs by YouTubers like DA Games and JT Music remixed into 1930s radio instrumentals as Easter eggs, but the ambient hum creates an electric tension in the air. Scene is tense when it needs to be tense and relaxed when you aren't being hounded by ink demons. I really can't say enough nice things about the sound design and the cathartic sound of smashing an axe into one of those smug, grinning, bendy cardboard cutouts. To say nothing of the immaculate voice cast, everyone pours their all into their characters, even adopting common American regional accents to bring their characters to life. I bring this up because there's even some cameo voice bits, including the aforementioned Will Ryan of DA Games and Sean McLaughlin, or Jacksepticeye. Casual aside, if in any future Bendy sequels, I am more than happy to do voiceover work. I'll even do it for free.
Please notice me, maybe senpai. Maybe senpai.
So, aesthetics aside, how does it play? Well, I find the haunted house comparison is apt. In most levels, you'll be attempting to solve puzzles using clues from recordings in your environment in order to proceed. For instance, there's a procedurally generated puzzle where, on a timer, you must play 4 different instruments in some randomized order to open the way forward, and you need to listen to 2 different recordings to fully piece together the how and why of how it works. It may sound complicated, but it's actually all very intuitive. In fact, in the first chapter, you literally cannot die. It proceeds like a treasure hunt instead, building tension as things get weirder and weirder as you go. Combat isn't even introduced until Chapter 2, and its pacing is forgiving. Even if you suffer damage, you'll quickly shrug it off after a few seconds of avoiding additional hits, or by wolfing down a can of bacon soup? Wow, that sounds heart-stoppingly awful. But I guess you work with what you have. However, combat is only a major aspect of the game in later chapters, and by then you should have learned that the best way to fight is to kite enemies in a straight line by walking backwards and occasionally stopping to swing your weapon and then moving again before they can hit you. I mean, the main character has to be at least canonically 50 years old at this point. It's not like you're going to be charging hordes of ink monsters like John Rambo. And that would also kind of undercut the whole survival horror thing. By exploring, you can find hints on how to proceed, secrets, Easter eggs aplenty, and alternating between treasure hunting and periodic combat segments, including a few boss fights, which incorporate puzzle-solving elements as well. Some are more merciful than others, such as one boss with a very obvious safe zone that you can just chill in for the better part of the fight. And then there's things like this one incongruous stealth segment that wedges itself unwelcome in the Chapter 4's latter half, and I suck at these so much. I always get caught no matter what I do, and it helps that, even if you die, respawns are frequent, with save points in the form of time card punchers and respawn points, Bendy statues, that dot every level in the event that you make a mistake. And since you don't lose progress, any items you collect will stay in your inventory, for example, sometimes a small burst of adrenaline from the ink demon getting a bit too close is exactly what you need before taking a step back and reassessing the situation. Are there things that I don't like? Well, yes, of course. The entire last leg of Chapter 3 is designed to spite me specifically, or at least it sure felt that way. And the game does suffer some minor bugs that don't appear to have been addressed yet, even a full year after the complete edition's release. I've beaten the Steam version of the game some 4 or 5 times, and it still won't unlock the archive special feature that's supposed to become available upon beating it. And rarely, after respawning, if you quickly pause the game, you can sometimes soft lock your progress, as the pause screen will be up, but hitting WASD will still make you move around, but you can't interact with anything. And I once, while being a complete idiot, managed to get myself on top of a minigame booth in Chapter 4, and I had to restart. If it sounds like I'm nitpicking, it's because I totally am. These are all very minor nuisances in the game as a whole. And it's really fantastic otherwise, and minor hiccups like these don't really stop that. As I said, it's a lot like a haunted house attraction, but this one has a story to learn as you progress from area to area, and solve puzzles and get better feel for exactly what it is the ink machine did to this studio and who was responsible for it all happening. And while you do get chased a bit in the latter half of it all, it's a fun kind of exhilarating blend of fear, where you know the idea is silly and cartoonish, but seeing that eyeless, grinning ink demon behind you still puts a bit of a pep in your step. It's that exact blend of good, Halloween fun that you can enjoy in groups or just playing on your own for your own entertainment. It's amazing to me that such a robust game was made by such a small team of dedicated devs. In addition to the Meatly and Mike Mood, Matt Golez and Dan Tozer are credited with design. Pascal Claureau is credited with the art, Gavin McCarthy as senior concept artist, and Bookpast with writing. And once again, I'm just going to apologize because there's no way I didn't mispronounce at least one of those names. And every time one of the chapters dropped, all previous chapters would receive updates and touch-ups. It was an amazing thing to see in motion, as I started playing right when Chapter 3 first went live, and the completed package is an absolute testament to what a small but passionate team can really accomplish. And here's some more good news for you new Bendy maniacs. Not only is the game available on just about every platform, a sequel, Bendy and the Dark Revival, was just announced earlier this year. More on that in the future, no doubt. So thank you, the Meatly, for leading this amazing game, and we eagerly look forward to seeing more. This has been the Halloween Snek, bringing this spooktacular set of October reviews to their close. I hope you've enjoyed the special holiday theme block, and if you haven't, well, at least it's over now. If you liked today's episode, be sure to hit that like button. And if you want more content like this with obscure reviews and N-D-X-Cellence every week, hit the subscribe and bell icons too. Leave a comment letting me know what some of your favorite Halloween games are. And lastly, if you want to really ensure these videos keep coming, you can even become a backer on my Subscribestar page, link in the description. Thanks again for joining me here this Halloween, and I hope you'll continue to do so well into the future. Join me next time for more obscure reviews, and I'll see you there.